on in the hot.
Good evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joining me again, just like every Tuesday before from the yesteryear, we have Mr. Steve White. Steve, how you doing tonight, buddy?
G'day, eh? Yesteryears, right? Yep, I'm back after 4 months hiatus. I'm back.
Right? He went into hibernation. Now he's out.
That's it.
Wrestled
Spring
a
is
bear and a
almost
moose
here.
and a beaver on the way, but we got him back.
And the Cobra chickens. Don't forget the Cobra chickens.
And the Cobra chickens. And of course, we have a first-time guest on. Don't know if he's been on the YouTubes before, but we'll ask him. But we have John from Shrews Clues Comics. How you doing, John?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
So first of all, though, where'd you get your cool logo? Because I think your logo is great. And how'd you come up with the name Shrews Clues?
So, I was just looking for nicknames. Shrewsbury's my last name, so everybody calls me Shrews. And when I was hunting around for books when I was younger, somebody said I kind of have a detective feel because I'm the guy that's on the floor digging through the boxes. So Shrews Clues just came natural. The logo was made by a friend of mine, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it looks great, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
So you're a comic collector. How long have you been collecting comics?
This year is my 40th year.
Nice.
Sweet. So you got a little bit of, you got 1 or 2 books then.
Well, excuse me. Recently, I just downgraded my entire collection to a lump sum that I was comfortable with. I'm a, how should I put this? A catch and release collector. I like having a core amount and then kind of rotate things out.
Right. That's awesome.
It's nice. Thank you for making your YouTube debut on my channel. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You've been following me for a little bit, so it's great to actually meet you. We are going to say hi to the crowd that's coming in real quick, and then we're going to bring it back to you for your first book. But we got our co-host, Steve White, saying hello. We have Mark from Legion of Comics, # We Are Legion. If you guys aren't a member of his channel membership, completely worth it. He puts a lot of work into it, and he gives away great prizes every month, and you can only be eligible for those prizes if you are part of the Legion. # We Are Legion. We have Jerry the Jitterbug, one of my all-time favorite people. And we have Brad Wellbore. We have Steve's Canadian brother.
Yeah, my White Walker brother.
Yep. We have Damien Sleepy Reader, one of the best guys out there, one of the grandfathers of YouTube. And if you guys haven't watched his one of his latest videos on the art on John Buscema, go watch it. John does a great job going through. Damien does a great job going through the pages, showing you the book, having a discussion about Big John Buscema, what he liked, what he didn't like, some of his hopes, dreams, whole thing. Damien does a great job with it. We have the Jackson Roykirk. Jackson, great to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Always good to see you. I say that, and then he's going to pick on me a bunch, and I'm like, where's that delete button?
Well, he'll unsubscribe by the end of the video, I'm sure.
Right? Mr. DVH.
DVH.
Dr. Von Hoop, great to have you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And see, I already regret it. John's first time with Gary, he'll never be the same.
Here we go. Let's start.
However you want.
Looking forward to it.
Unsubscribed.
Oh, goodness. All right. So for the moment, we're caught up. As people are joining, I will give a quick tip of the hat. But this episode, John, is all about you, sir. Oh, did I wait? I missed somebody. I cannot believe I missed this dude. He is 1011 royalty, and I missed him. We had none other than Mr. Mark Andrews. Good evening,
nice.
Canadian brother.
Mr. Andrews, yes.
Right?
Very
Mark,
cool.
my apologies. Great to see you tonight, sir. Happy to have you.
That man has one hell of a collection.
Yeah.
Archived.
It's not a show if I haven't been raging sub by
See?
Jackson at least 2 or 3 times that night.
See, Ray
And
Johnson.
another great of the channel, we have John's
Joe.
Comics with Kids, doing the best omnibus breakdowns on the interwebs and the YouTubes. Thank you, John, for being here, bud. We appreciate you. And lots of great episodes of the 1011 with John as a guest and as a co-host.
Can't have enough Johns. You're fine.
Right? But we go from one John to our guest John. All right.
Very cool.
Before you show us your first book, John, how difficult was it for you to pick out 10? And one, obviously.
It was tough. Yeah, it was definitely tough. Especially the spec book. I am not a speculator. That's never been my style.
None of us are.
So, right? Yeah.
I think I say I put that in there for something fun for the audience, but maybe I was just feeling like being a jerk for that last one. Who knows?
Well, I think I got a good one, so we'll see. We'll see what the crowd says.
All right. Well, let's start you up.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I'm an oddball collector, and I like items that you don't see often. And let me see if I can get a good shot of this. So what you're looking at here is Crime Stoppers of America.
Wow.
This was done by Gilbert Hernandez. You folks will know him from Love and Rockets, right? The Hernandez brothers. This was a 2002 San Diego Comic-Con book. He only did 30 of them.
Holy crap.
I was lucky enough to get one of these. How I got this was actually really cool. So we were talking a little bit earlier about 90s books and the art and stuff, right? I had bought a stack of 90s ash cans, right? And it had that very distinct 90s art, Wildcats, so on and so forth. I'm not a big fan of that, but I love the idea of an ash can. This was stuffed inside one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just tucked away inside one of the ash cans. So my goal here is to eventually get to meet him at a convention and really pick his brain about it. Because when you start to look through this book, it's a digest size. It's just little drawings of his what his idea is for like silver and golden age characters.
Wow.
And it's super cool. Yeah,
and it's a fun cover.
Cool. Yeah, it is. It really is. And this is number 7 out of 30.
I was going to say it looked like it's numbered and signed and all that at the bottom there.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I'm super happy to have this. It's definitely an oddball little thing, but very cool.
I love stuff like that. That is cool.
Yeah.
Now,
right.
Ash cans.
Before you're number cool 2, too. Let's say hi to Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
Give his stream a shout out. So after this show, head on over to Circumstances channel and watch FOC and Chill. One of the best dudes in our community, sticks up for everybody. If you need someone in your corner, that's Marcus.
And you'll love the beginning of his show. It's hilarious to watch.
Nice. Yeah, he's great. And also, he's had a few good episodes on here and also guest hosted. All right, number 2, John. Great start. I love seeing books on my channel that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Ash
Very
cans
cool.
are the best.
Yeah, this one you probably have seen before.
That's okay.
I've recently started getting into Marvel UK. And this is their Savage Sword, their weekly run that started in, I believe, 75.
I have never seen the UK Savage Sword.
Wow.
Really? So this.
What was
this
your home address again? I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean,
that is really cool.
This was part of a weekly run they did, and I want to say it only went 18 issues before they canceled it. So it was like May to July or something ridiculous. It wasn't very long. Each one comes with a color poster inside that is some form of story or whatever. The reason I picked this, though, is because when I was younger, one of the first books that was given to me by a family member, my aunt was collecting Savage Sword, the Marvel Savage Sword.
Right.
And she was collecting them for her husband, who he wasn't into them. So she's like, hey, do you just want these? And it really helped kick off my my crave for Conan.
Especially when you're a kid and you're reading the adult version of Conan in those books.
Very much so.
Mhm.
Yeah, very
Now,
much
what's
so.
cool about that, though, that's Savage sort of Conan, but it's got Conan
Yeah.
the Barbarian 1 art on the cover.
100%,
Yeah,
right?
that's the
Yeah,
Barry Windsor
100%.
Smith with a red background, which is cool.
Yeah,
That's a neat
yeah.
variation of it.
It's true,
And-
Damien. Don't rub it in. Because
And-
I know
and, you know-
Conan in the UK from being paired with the Avengers
Right.
when they shared the same,
Right.
where they shared the same magazine.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
Gary
So
doesn't
right
have it
after
yet.
right after this series was canceled, they moved him straight over to the Avengers. Yeah.
Okay.
So but this was 18 issues that started in 1975.
That's
Does
amazing.
it have the poster in that one?
This one does not have the poster. It is so ridiculously hard to find them with the poster. It is
Wow.
so hard. Yeah,
Was
so
it
many
stapled
kids.
in there, or was it?
Yeah, it
was it loose?
absolutely.
It was stapled in.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was stapled in, and so many kids would just take that poster out and hang it up. And I can't blame them, right?
No.
Yeah, not
But
bad.
Gary needs the one with the poster, though. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, I have a couple Marvel UK Spideys here, and I got one that has the Black Cat poster in it still.
Oh,
Nice,
there you go.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Very cool.
Sent to me from Torsen, Varangian Vigilante in Austria.
Really?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
All right, number 3. So I've seen
Number
I've
3.
seen a book I never saw before, and I've seen a book that I'm gonna have to kill somebody. All right. So he's gonna have me on the eBays tonight.
Oh yeah, you'll be hunting her down. Oh.
Ooh.
Marvel
Great
Superheroes
cover.
number 14, right? This is 1968. Now, anybody that's read the Marvel Superheroes books from the 60s know that these are all reprints. This one, though, I love because it's one of the few times Marvel reprinted a Timely's Comics
Oh, really?
storyline.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Back to their origin.
Mercury. Yeah, exactly. Mercury in the 20th Century is the name of that story. And it was in Red Raven #1 from 1940.
Wow.
And and it was an all Kirby story. He did the lettering, pencils, and inks, right? So for me, I'm never going to be able to afford a Timely comic, right? Like that's not. But the fact that I can sit down and come very close to reading, an original in something like this, that's priceless to me.
Worth it.
And just the fact that you're reading a story that was from 1940 alone.
100%.
Now, what issue number was that?
This is 14.
14. All right. I have seen
1968.
some of those, but not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never read any of those.
This is a tough one to get in any kind of like good grade because it's all black and it's a square bound cover. But anytime I see them, I mean, you find these for like between 15 and 30 bucks. It's a no-brainer.
Square bound. So it's got, how many stories are in that one then?
I want to say there's like maybe 5, if I recall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was worth the quarter back in the day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But it's super fun. And Jack Kirby. Can't go wrong.
Just stuff like this, like even like say 30 years ago, there's some fun stuff that they did with comics that they don't do these days.
They don't. Yeah, they don't take the same chances, right? I mean, now those Spider-Man is a property on his own. So they're not going to take the same chances or do the same things in comics that they did. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is.
Yep. They'll just reprint books and that's about it.
Paul says that he used to get them in the dollar bins in the 80s.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And original art was super cheap back then too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And now it's
you're blowing me away, John. I'm loving everything.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so this next one, is a little silly, but I do love it. Lester of the Lesser Gods.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Eric Powell of The Goon. Yeah. This is a 3-issue book of his. And it was written with the comedian Lucky Yates. And for those who don't know who that is, he voiced some of the characters on Archer, the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is a super fun and silly book. He is he is one of Odin's children that Odin doesn't care for very much. The apocalypse happens, and Odin has to rely on him to fight Satan.
That came out last year, right?
Yeah, it was like 2023, 2024, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
if you like the old anthology stuff in the back of like Heavy Metal magazine or something like that, you'll love this. Like it's silly, it's adult, it's graphic, it's violent, but it's fun. You know,
Nice.
Perfect.
it's
Everything
totally
you
worth
want in
it.
a comic book, right?
Yeah, great combination.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
All right.
So a little modern stuff in there now.
Some, yeah. One of the items that I love is what they refer to as, they used to call custom comics, right? That was the stuff that was licensed out. So the next 3 books are all customs. They're licensed comics, and
Ruby G.
Fun fact: Lester's first name is Mo. Oh, another one that's almost like an ash can size, just slightly bigger.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than an ash can. So this is I want to say it's a reprint of 303. This was from a company called Sean Lawn Distributors, if I'm saying that right.
Wow.
This came in an all plastic case with a cassette tape that would play the story. And it was like 1990, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember back in the day, you'd get that really, like you get a cassette tape in that really hard 1990s plastic that you had to use an arc welder to get through?
Oh yeah, those things were ridiculous.
So many of those books got destroyed by kids trying to, tear into them, cut through them. So they're really hard to find. They're super fun, but they're just an all reprint of 303. I think there's 5 books altogether that the company put out. 2 Amazing Spider-Man that are McFarlane's, and then the rest I think are Captain America, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
So instead of golden records, now we got copper cassettes.
We got copper cassettes. Yeah. But it's fun, it's digest size. It's I
love the odd stuff like that.
Yeah. And I never saw these anywhere. A few years ago, I ran into a whole stack of them, and I was like, "That's a no-brainer. These are just super cool."
Yeah, because it's something weird and you don't come across it, so you got to snag stuff up when you see that, because
absolutely.
And a lot of times you can find that stuff cheap.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, right?
And there's a cool story behind it most of the time.
What I like about some of those reprints too, and in some of those things, right? If you find the original comic, it'll have more story. Sometimes they cut it down a few pages too, so you get an abbreviated tale, so it's a little different. Or sometimes the coloring's a little different too.
So, John, was it just the books, or did you find the cassettes too?
No, I've never found the cassettes. I found one that a person was selling the entire package completely sealed, but they wanted way more than
money.
That I had that I had available. Yeah, I've only found the comics. I've never found the cassette. So if anybody out there in the interwebs is holding on to a cassette, hit me up. We'll
start searching your cassette cases, people.
Right.
For those cassette cases, you may find one.
You may. 1989.
Oh, there we go.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice Doom cover.
So this is Amazing Spider-Man and Captain America in Doom's Revenge. This was, I think this is Ramita that did the cover. This was for a video game for Paragon Software. And it was a game for the Commodore 64.
Nice at the time.
Yeah, right. It's another one of those books that was stuffed inside a box with a game, that got tossed around. Right. Nobody actually paid attention to. It's basically the telling of the game, but it's fun. It's got good artwork. It's a little tough to get in good grade because the paper quality was really poor on this. Like this was really bad paper. But yeah, it's a really fun book.
It wasn't meant to last. And remember back in the day, for you young folks out there, some of our old computers, you actually loaded the games up on a cassette tape. Yep. The VIC-20s were like that, and then the
Mark says these one-offs are so very cool. They are. Yeah, I have a trouble because one of my favorite ones is the 7-Eleven comic that has Spider-Woman, Spider-Man, Captain America, and the Hulk. But getting that in good shape is tough. I got 2 copies, and neither one's in Incredible.
I think John's got it there.
Yep.
I think you just got ahead of him. There you go.
That was my next one.
There you go.
That was my absolute next one. Good on you, Barry. Good on you. Yeah.
7-Eleven.
The 1981 classic. Yeah. You are
the stories are
absolutely
ridiculous
right.
in that.
They're so ridiculous. There's a part in here for those folks who haven't read this at home. There's a part in here where the Enchantress is actually on top of a 7-Eleven fighting them. It's complete lunacy. Yeah, it's nuts. But so many copies of this, like Gary was saying, I've come across, and because there's puzzles in this, and there's like connected dots and things like that, so many of them. You know, kids have gone through. So it's really hard to find one untouched. I was lucky to find this one that doesn't have any writing in it, and it's been pretty well maintained. But yeah, this is a super fun book.
And I think my favorite stupid thing in that book is when they lift that whole house, that whole building, then you set it back down, like all the plumbing and shit works again. Like it's just a
exactly.
building again.
Yeah,
it's magic.
Yeah.
It's magic, Gary.
Yeah, this was a super fun book, and
great art, fun pages.
Yeah, and it's one of, if I recall, the inside of this on the front and back cover is a one-panel description of each hero's origin. Yeah, which I thought was kind of cool too. Yeah,
that's neat.
Well, they had me at Spider-Woman. As soon as Spider-Woman was on it, I knew I had to have it.
Yeah.
Jessica Drew's the best.
Yes, she is.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Okay, so this next one was a grail of mine. It's actually the first grail I got for Tick #1 special edition.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's in a magazine-sized bag right now because this is just a little hard to find adequate bagging for. I think it maybe fits in a Golden Age bag and backboard, but
it's got room to breathe in there at least. I do that with a couple of my odd size ones, right in a magazine bagging board.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. You just double it up, and it actually presents nicely there.
Look how nice and white that's near mint. What a great book! Look at that.
It really is a great book. So, I was looking for this for years, and you know, it's a pricey book, and it was very hard for me to justify dropping the money on it and trying to get it. And I met someone at a convention who was like starting to let go of their collection. They're a little bit older, and I reached out to them later on, and I said, "Hey, you know, you mentioned you had some Tick books. Did you by chance have the special edition?" And they were like, "Yeah, absolutely." And you know, I started talking to them about, you know, being a kid. When I grew up on the East Coast, and the first comic shop I went to was one called Captain Blue Hen Comics in Newark, Delaware, right? Which is still there, by the way. They're on their 45th year.
Wow.
Yeah, but I used to go in there and I'd read the Tick, and it was just, you know, so much fun. And I remember that memory, you know, and when I was telling him about that, he goes, "You know what? Take half off. You know, what's a price you can work with?"
See, because he knows it's going to a good home. Sometimes the story matters, because when somebody feels good about giving up their collection to somebody who's going to appreciate the book.
Right.
And it's going to stay in your collection basically till you're dead, right?
And people that enjoy the book too, it means more to them if it's going to someone else that appreciates it than someone that's just going to resell it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, 100% right. You know, and yeah, I feel blessed to get it. It's definitely one of those grails for me. And like you said,
it looks brand new,
really
like you just took it off the shelf or out of the box to shelf it, you know?
You know, I asked him, I said, "Did you ever read it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I read it all the time." I'm like,
"Wow, just carefully."
Yeah, very carefully, you know? But yeah, no, it looks great. You know, I'm not a slab person. It's not really my nature.
Right.
I like to go back and read it. So I'm hoping to take as good care of it as he did, you know? But yeah.
That's awesome.
And good on that dude for giving you a deal to hook you up with a book that you love.
Very much so.
Especially 50% off. Like, holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So sometimes the story can go a long way. That's just amazing, though.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those things where you want to. This is the type of hobby that sometimes can be elusive for folks, right? There's so much money in this hobby sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And to read a book like this, you know, it's tough for some folks. So, you know, the fact that he was willing to reach out and help me out there was great. Yeah, it meant a lot.
Well, and I'm sure he just enjoyed connecting with you over the book too, and just knowing
100%.
someone else out there likes a
Yeah.
character as much as he did. And
Yeah.
I mean, those are some priceless moments because you know as well as we do, you don't always get the, especially before this YouTube stuff. You didn't get to talk comics with people in your neighborhood.
You're right. We're
cared.
very isolated people. So, you know, we didn't, there would be no circles where we'd really be talking to people about this.
Yeah, that conversation with him was probably priceless for him. That he got to talk to you and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, he was one of those collectors, like you said, who, you know, he met people through going to conventions. There wasn't this interaction, you know. So, it was a lot of fun and a good memory.
That's amazing.
Great story. All right. That was
this
perfect.
Is so I'm I'll just get to it. You'll know this one.
Oh yeah, last issue of Conan the Barbarian. McNeil
last
cover.
issue. Yep. So, you know, there's a signature on it, right? The Roy Thomas signature.
Nice.
Yep. Now, caveat.
And a hard issue to get in good shape.
It is a hard issue. Yeah, it is a hard issue to get. There's a few spine ticks on it, but it is a good issue. A little caveat though, and there are signed books out there that are Roy Thomas. He supposedly signed 750 from this one dealer. All right.
Wow.
Later, it came out that the dealer, and this was many years ago, this was 93 when this came out. The dealer had high school kids working at his shop, and to turn a profit, he would have the kids forge the signatures. So
brilliant. They've been forging their parents' signatures for years.
100%, right? So a lot of those kids grew up and they started going to the, you know, these different conventions. They started going on to CGC and they would say, hey, you know, might not be the real thing. It might be one of us. I'm not going to get this book graded. I'm not going to have anybody check it. I don't know if it's a Roy Thomas signature. I don't know if it's a 17-year-old kid who just did a really good job on the signature. To me, it's just as cool either way, right? Like it's a neat story either way. I actually kind of like it even more thinking that it could be a 17-year-old kid who might have forged it and done a great job.
Yeah, maybe you'll meet Roy Thomas one day and he'll get the real legit one on there.
I'll have two signatures on it and we'll see which one's which. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
do you have that entire run too, John?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Such a good run. I mean, obviously, Roy Thomas, I grew up on Roy Thomas. He's always going to be my favorite writer. Yeah. But you had some good arcs in that one by great writers. You had Jim Owsley, who's now writing as Christopher Priest. His run was great. Yeah. Bruce Jones did some great issues. You had some great Mike Mignola art on a few covers, which I thought 100%. Was spectacular.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, there's very few full runs that have kept my attention like this one did, you know, for as long, you know, and didn't have as down down points as other runs did, you know.
Right, yeah. The quality never hit rock bottom.
Exactly.
It dipped and ebbed, but it was never like it was never treated like garbage.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. How are we doing on time?
We're doing good.
Oh yeah, it's we're only 30 minutes in.
Okay, I'm not moving too fast, am I?
No.
Okay, very cool.
You're the guest. It's at your pace. You dictate how long the show is by what you're doing and talking about and showing. Yeah, so don't feel any pressure. This is a hangout.
Yeah.
We're having a blast here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I am a low print run indie nut. So I'm also a Sherlock Holmes fan. So
wow. Nice book.
Cases of Sherlock Holmes. Ooh. Right? This was a 21 issue run in 86.
Wow.
The significance to me is who drove this book and worked on it, and that was Dan Day. You know, the Canadian legend Dan Day and his inking and his penciling. If you get a chance to look up his work, it is spectacular. You know?
Yeah, that's a beautiful cover.
Yeah. Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful.
And look at that trade dress. The trade dress is amazing on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super beautiful book. The whole series is just absolutely incredible.
And Mr. Andrews agrees with you. He says the Sherlock run
very, very good.
Very, very good.
It is so good. Yeah, it is so good. And yeah, I was fortunate enough. So I set myself some parameters when I went to look for this. I had found by accident, I think it was book number 3. And I was like, I've never heard of Renegade Press and I never heard of this book. So now I'm hooked, right? The art was amazing.
Right.
The story was great. So I set myself some parameters and I said, I'm going to look for everything VF or up. And I'm only going to buy it physical copies from locations. I'm never going to buy anything online.
Oh, I see, and have it shipped to you, right?
Yeah. So it took me 5 years of just hunting and looking and digging into things, but I finally found all of them. And
wow,
yeah, it's a tremendous series.
And that's one of the best things about this hobby, right? Is the hunt.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And running into other people. Like when you would bring this to the counter, half the time the guy behind the counter was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe somebody's finally buying that. That is such a great book." You know,
Right.
and you would dig into the story and talk about it. But yeah, you know, such a great run. I highly
had
recommend
never
it.
seen that series. You're gonna have me
Yeah.
hunting.
Oh, me neither. And then give you clues to finding the next one too. Hey, I know a guy in this town. He might have issue number 3 or 2 or whatever.
Well, I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan. I read when I was young, probably under 13. I think I was like 11 or 12. I read all the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories. Just loved them.
Very good. Yeah,
and,
they're very
Basil
good.
Rathbone was my favorite Sherlock in the movie.
Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce together.
Yep.
The chemistry they had in those older movies was fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, I just completed that run and
16 issues.
Yeah.
Very affordable.
Oh yeah. So good. So I have a deep love for the old late night horror TV hosts.
Right.
Growing up on the East Coast around the Baltimore area, we had Count Gore Duvall. And I think he ran until like 87 doing the old late night, TV movies. Now there's very few of those folks left, right? Like you don't see those old, cable access kind of horror TV hosts.
Right.
Nope.
It's a bygone era.
The old Crypt Keeper and that. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I've seen this before.
So
Svengoolie.
Svengoolie, he does I think he's on MeTV now. And he does that same kind of campy, horror, antics with the little skits in between. It's super fun. This book is utterly ridiculous. Obviously there's the homage to Bernie Wright's in there of what he's doing, but
and the EC kind of look to the cover with the 3 old witches, but in this case, 3 other ridiculous characters.
Absolutely. And if I recall the story, he goes through time fighting a robot version of himself or something. Yeah, it's super nuts. But you don't see those older TV hosts anymore doing that kind of stuff. He's one of those few that's left out there. So when he started putting a book out, and I think this is Frank Miller Presents. I think this is part of Frank Miller's line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when he put this out, it was a no-brainer for me to pick it up. And it's super cheap. I think it's only a few dollars, but
and the cover's great. Like, look at that. That's
right.
And the art inside is exactly the same. Like, it's very similar.
Perfect. See, I'm a sucker for EC looking books like that too.
Yeah. So yeah, this hit a soft spot for me, and it really took me down the nostalgia rabbit hole, because I spent many a Saturday night when I was a kid watching those old hosts. When I would get up in the morning and we would have Captain Chesapeake do the Saturday morning cartoons, right? And he had a little Chesapeake puppet that would sit next to him like a Loch Ness Monster kind of deal. And then at night it would be the Count Gore Duvall. So
see, every region had a stick like that, where you had the Saturday morning cartoon hosts.
Yeah.
Remember the Commander Tom shows?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
What's sad now is our kids never get to experience looking forward to something like that.
Yeah.
Because we 100%. Talked about it before in the show, where Saturday mornings, that was like event. Like you look.
That was our holy time.
Your Saturday morning through the whole week. And you got there, you had your bowl of cereal, you're in front of the TV.
Serial comics, TV. Let's go.
Right, you're watching your cartoons, and as
Yeah.
soon as the commercial hits, you're clicking to another channel.
Yeah,
They don't know how to. They don't know how to physically click.
you got to
You're
get
turning
up
the
and you
dial
got
to another channel real
Yeah.
quick to catch a couple, then
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
You're
I
getting
had
your timing really good.
Yeah, I had to explain to a coworker not that long ago the difference between UHF and VHF.
Yes.
That was a
People
little
didn't
over their head.
understand that back
They
in
were
the
not
day.
like, yeah, but yeah, missed times for sure. I'm on my last book, and it's the spec one. So let's see how I do.
All right.
Spec. Oh no.
There it is.
Captain Britain,
team-up.
nice.
Marvel
Yeah.
Team Up number 65, 1978, first U.S. appearance of Captain Britain.
I think we'll definitely see him at some point.
I'm thinking
He's
so.
supposed to be
right?
in a movie or something upcoming.
I'm thinking so. This is such a great book. Like, just even away from spec or anything else, it's such a great book. Chris Claremont, if I recall, did the story. John Byrne did the pencils, and who else? Oh, Perez did the cover. So Titans, right? Like, it's just a fun story. But yeah, I think sooner or later we're going to run into him.
I've never read that issue. That's one I got to. Oh wait, I have. I read it in I have the Essentials collection where I read
There
it.
you go. There you
I've
go.
got a bunch
Those
of
are
team
great.
ups, but I don't have that one.
Yeah. This is a super great book, and a lot of fun. And again, so many great artists worked on this.
And such a fantastic cover. And I always like Captain Britain's design. And now, how cool would it be to have him and Captain Carter in a movie together?
I agree.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Side by side.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Like you start the movie by her going to bring him out of retirement or something. Like she goes and finds him and says, "We need you."
Yeah. Yeah, but who would you see playing his role?
Yeah, you need a British.
See,
You'll have to have a British
I'm the type
actor
of person where I think any capable actor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people always want to say this person can't play that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've had those instances where everybody's wrong, right? Michael Keaton can't be Batman.
Oh
Heath
yeah.
Ledger can't be the Joker. He's the 10 things about you guys.
How about the actor who played Venom?
Oh,
Grace.
He's British.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you know, I like to be surprised. You know, like right now we have it going on with the Red Sonja movie. Matilda Lutz is too skinny to be Red Sonja. Gal Gadot's too skinny to be Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She trained in her nation's army. She can do it.
That's right.
Yeah, she bulked up. She was fine.
Yeah.
Matilda Lutz, if you've ever seen the movie Revenge, you know she'll have no issues playing Red Sonja.
Yeah.
If there's any issues with that movie, it'll be script.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It won't be the cast.
Yeah.
And Gary will be doing the review.
Oh, absolutely.
But they couldn't have cast the role any better. Matilda Lutz is a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
So
I'm really
when
looking
you ask
forward
me
to that,
pretty much any capable actor, because you never know
there you go.
who's gonna own that role, right? Because
there you go.
I mean, look, like Hugh Jackman wasn't supposed to be Wolverine.
No,
he wasn't.
No.
He's too tall.
Yeah.
And
now they can't get him out of the role. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. He keeps getting suckered back.
I like surprises like that. Instead of picking someone, I would like to see somebody come in that we're kind of unfamiliar with or never seen before, and they just
you need
own
some
it.
new blood. New blood. Bring it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my books. Yeah, that's a little peek into my collecting world.
Which is phenomenal.
Thank you much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was a great selection, man. That was amazing stuff. So much fun to see. You presented them so well. Great stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I want to see all the G.I. Joes. You got the full run of that one?
No, I do not. No, no. I have I just picked up the last issue.
Oof, yeah, that's a tough one.
Tough one.
What was out of the completed runs that you as a collector own? What was your hardest run to complete?
And it's still ongoing, right?
Yeah. Let's see.
No, I said that is completed though.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it was probably the Sherlock Holmes. Yes, it was only, a limited amount of issues.
But 5 years, you said.
But
Man.
it took me 5 years because I set such parameters. Like, you know, I
Right.
wasn't going to buy it online. I wanted to physically buy it at a location.
Well, you
And,
set
you know,
goals for yourself.
yeah, exactly. You know, and nobody had heard of the book, you know, so sometimes when I did buy it, I was educating the person working at the store. They were like, I have no idea. You
Right.
know, it was one of those things where, you know, I would actually, one of the issues I bought, you know, I go up to the counter and I'm like, hey, how much are you asking for this? I'm thinking, you know, because of the scarcity of it and it was in such good shape, I'm thinking maybe 15, 20 bucks. He's like, I didn't know I had it. Like, can I look it up? And you know, we actually had to talk about it. I'm like, it normally goes from, you know, for what I see it online for this. So maybe you want to charge that. And he was like, oh, okay, shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
You know?
before we sign off and do our things, did
Yeah.
you actually get the DC one-off Sherlock Holmes too?
Is that the one with Batman leaning over, or is
No,
I know
it's
what you're
it's a
talking about.
standalone issue.
Yeah, I did have it, but I don't have it anymore.
And
Yeah.
great cover on that too.
It's a great book.
And
It is such a
Mr.
great book.
Andrews says that's the best way to collect The Hunt in the
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
100%.
Like
And
you said, you need
Damien
to-
says great set of comics and cool discussion.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
But yeah,
so
that
much.
was fantastic.
It
Thank
was
you.
All
cool.
right, so
Yeah.
we'll do like we normally do. We'll start with Steve. Steve, what's coming up with you, sir?
Well, this Friday, I'm going to be hanging out with Joe and Mark and probably Chuck and whoever else shows up on Anachronic Comics. We're doing the espresso mail call, so that'll be fun. And then I'm
There
back
you
doing
go.
my Voices Choices. And of course, I'm hanging out with my buddy Gary on Tuesdays from now on until the end of time or
Back
until
in
I
the
have to do
saddle.
classes again. Yep. And that's it for me.
Right? And we get to meet cool people like John.
Absolutely. 100%.
Thank
And
you.
then thank you, DVH. You
Cool,
got
thank you.
you got the 10-1 royalty stamp of approval.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Very cool. Thank you much.
And Brad, great show. Coming up for me is we have Adrian, Actual Dracula, on Thursday. We're doing his album version of the 10-1-1.
Cool.
Nice.
So that'll be a lot of fun. And then next week, let me see, we
need to do a cassette tape
on Tuesday, we have Bleecker doing his horror episode of the 10-1-1. And then we're kicking off May with Big Nasty Comics, who had to reschedule, and that's his reschedule day.
Perfect.
So Bleecker and Adrian have both been on before. Great guests. Big
Yeah.
Nasty will be another first timer.
Nice.
But John, for someone who's never done YouTube, you came on, you knocked it out of the park. Great
Awesome.
show.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else coming up that people should be paying attention to?
You know, I don't. You know, if you hit me up on Instagram, Shrews Clues Comics, feel free. We'll talk comics. We'll hang out and have a good time.
There you go. And now that you're part of the family, maybe we'll pull you on as a guest host here and there for fun.
Anytime you want, you just give me a holler.
Excellent. John, it was excellent to meet you.
You too.
And as always, we're just going to say, I want to say thank you to my co-host. Sorry, my ESPN's going crazy. I want to say thank you to my co-host, Steve. Thank you to John. Excellent to meet you and have you on the show. And a big thank you to everyone who was in the chat tonight, who came out to support. John, you blew it out of the park. That was absolutely amazing and so much fun. And for all of you watching on the Rewind, go follow Shrews Clues on Instagram. His link is in the description below. And also sub up my my co-host, Steve. His links are in the description below, as well as his Instagram link. And as we like to end these things, we are going to say thank you for watching and keep it casual.